There
live.
we are live. We're waiting for the button. Hello, Hilly Barmby. Thank you so much for bearing with us this week.
Oh no, I know what technical glitches are like. It's like I'm just glad we're here now. So Friday night,
I'm glad. So glad we're here now. So, would you like to introduce yourself and show off this lovely book cover?
Yeah, oh, it is a lovely book cover.
It really is.
I'm Hilly Barmby. I live now. I used to live in Brighton, where the book is set, and I will just wave it because it is such a beautiful, isn't it?
Really is. And it feels really lovely as well, which is so important.
Yeah, sort of velvety. It's lovely. And I moved from Brighton about just over 7 years ago to a mountainside in Spain. So I'm not an expat. I don't live on the coast and whatever. I live in a Spanish community. It's basically it's the kind of capital of the Alpujarras. So it's a place called Orgiva. But I'm in a organic fruit farm, which we bought without realizing we were buying an organic fruit farm. We got loads of fruit and nuts and all sorts of trees. Amazing. 1,500 square meters of land. It is incredible. And we've got mountain views one way and mountain views the other way. So it is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, it sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I've absolutely loved reading Best Served Cold. What a fantastic book.
Thank you so much.
So what do you want to say about it? Because this is one of those books where there is a lot to talk about, but it would be very easy to give something away, which I do not want to do. But I feel like there's things that we can really get into without giving anything away.
But it's a lot of it is obviously it's my story as well, which goes into an awful lot of my books is my experiences, and the places where Lily has lived, some of the experiences, they're all mine.
Some of the experiences in this book are yours.
Yeah, an awful lot. In fact, this is practically a memoir. Yeah,
that's quite worrying. Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, obviously not the ending, but the bobs in between. I did go to that art school, and I did meet a Hugh, and I did live in the bedsit, and I have lived in the flat in Brighton, and whatever. And I adore Brighton. Even though I live here, I've been here for 7 years, I still miss it. Of course you do.
I've never been, but it's one of those places that I've always wanted to visit.
Yeah, and it doesn't. The fact that Best Served Cold is set in, Christmas time. It's coming up to Christmas, and both the timelines, because of Lily, the main heroine, whatever. Even though we all adore Alice, everybody adores Alice.
Yeah.
There's two timelines, aren't there, going on? So there's Lily's past and Lily's present. And, we get to see why Lily is the way she is because of her past experiences. So when she meets Jack through, a dating app, OkCupid, she's going to be a little bit trepidatious. She's going to be a little bit wary, but she's open to it.
Yeah.
But you get to see why she's feeling the way she is. She's coming up to 30. She wants to get back in that, the dating pool again, experience life, have fun, and not be held back by her past experiences. And it's, she is open to it. So, anyway, what have you got to say about it? It was very difficult.
One of the things that I absolutely love in a book, it's not essential in a book, but you can pretty much guarantee if it's got a dual timeline, I really like that. I like the whole cold case element to certain books, but a dual timeline is just kind of perfect. Yeah. So I always find that, especially when it's as well done as yours, I find that really so satisfying.
Oh,
You know,
thank
it's
you.
something that really speaks to me.
Yeah,
So I
because it
love that.
gradually, it starts however many years before, and then it
Mm.
starts to kind of catch up, doesn't it? It's where they kind of collide. I like that as well.
Yeah, I loved that about it. We have
Yeah.
got a lot of messages already, and we're on different technology for
Oh,
obvious reasons to anyone who missed us earlier in the week, where I've had to postpone 2 interviews, but I'm really grateful you could come back on a Friday night. We have lots of hellos. The unfortunate thing is I can't see your names. So hello to everyone
hello,
who has said.
hello.
So I believe, so it looks like we've got Rebecca Collins, I believe we have.
Oh, hi,
Maureen
Beck.
Myant. Hello, Maureen.
Hi, Maureen.
Laura Hamilton on the train.
Oh, wow.
Often listens on the train on the way home.
Oh,
Leslie Lloyd, thank you for adding your name, Leslie. Donna must be here because somebody said, hello, Donna.
oh, yeah.
So I
Hi,
hope you
Donna.
managed to drive home today. Interesting. Yeah, we've got lots of hellos. If I've missed your name, I'm sorry I can't see them and I can't use this technology. I can scroll up and down, so I'll see the questions. She's not on a train cooking din-dins.
Ooh.
Hold on. That's not the same person. Okay, somebody's cooking din-dins. Sarah says, love your books. I was talking to Sarah last night,
Oh,
Sarah
brilliant.
Blackburn. We were at an event for another author, Chris MacDonald, at his book launch last night. And she was saying that she was on your book tour and we were talking about what a fantastic book it is.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you,
So,
Sarah. Yeah,
yeah, lots and lots of compliments from the people who've read this book,
that's good. That's what I want to hear.
unsurprisingly. So I don't know where to start. I've just loved every bit of it
Oh, I'm
because
so
it
glad.
wasn't, nothing about it was what I expected. I don't know what I expected, but this wasn't maybe it, and in a good way. Not that what I expect, that's not come out right. Let's try this again. You smashed my expectations for a revenge story. There we
Oh,
go. That's how I should have worded it. Absolutely loved it.
that's good.
So,
Yeah.
Beck, the Beck of Hobeck has said we had some great reviews on the tour. I'm assuming that's Rebecca.
Yeah.
Now I know this one's Sarah. I'm assuming it's Sarah because she asked this question last night. What would Google say about your research? And then we'll go into really talking about the book. But this has made me giggle.
It's. Do you know what I because I saw your last one with Victoria,
Victoria.
and I saw the one with Brian, and I was thinking, oh Lord, my research, my Google research. I was like, am I supposed to be worried about this?
And this is Brian Price, a fellow Hobeck author.
Yeah, I mean it's as we said before, or as you've all said, and I'm like, I'm an author, I'm supposed to be looking these things up. But it's like, yes, you just think, good grief, the things we do look up, and I don't want to go into anything. And also with the next book with Hobeck, I really had to go into some nitty gritty. And then, I mean, this is going to give it away a little bit, but Brian stepped in and helped me. So that you got to see where that's coming from, because it's like, his knowledge of things. But yeah, it's all of us have these things of like, I wonder how blah 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 blah, and it's like, these are not good. It's really. And somebody said, look, there's all the memes going around with from Wednesday Addams. Have you seen the ones where this is my writing and there's dark Wednesday?
Yeah.
And this is me in reality, which is the I've gotten a name now. I love you on bubbly one. So, everybody goes, how can you write, you all like this? Ooh, how can you write such horrible stuff? Because Best Served Cold isn't as bad as some of the other stuff I've written. I've got some nitty gritty, scary, scary stuff out there. And it's like, well, it just comes out. And you don't seem to have any, I don't seem to have any control over my characters. They just go off and do whatever they want. And it's like, and sometimes you go, oh, really? Did you have to do that? And it's like, yes, seemingly so. Yeah.
I do not think holding back in Best Served Cold would have been a good idea. I think you really, in the parts where it needed you to go for it, you've gone for it.
Right.
And it would not be as brilliant a book if you had held back at all. It was
That's
kind
good.
of, there's some quite manic bits in it, and that's exactly what was needed. So we can't talk about what any of these quite, the bits where people are quite, the manic
Full on.
moments. Can't
Yeah.
discuss them, but oh my word, do they add to the story?
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's exactly what I want to hear.
I've just spotted.
I've seen some of the reviews and I'm like, oh no, that's kind of, it's giving away a bit too much because people
Oh
are,
no,
but
no.
read the reviews or they don't read the reviews, but they've all been really good reviews, and I'm so chuffed.
That must be a really nice thing, actually, when you're reading through reviews. Not all authors do. It's a very personal thing, isn't it, whether or not you're going to actually do it? But you have to be in kind of the right frame of mind to think, right, I'm going to sit down, cup of tea, glass of wine, maybe, and just kind of dig into what everyone's been saying.
It's a weird one because when I first started writing, I sent my work off to be critiqued by Cornerstones, Cornerstones Literary Consultancy.
Yeah.
And they don't hold back in shredding your work. It's like that's what you are paying them for.
Yeah.
They literally rip it apart and they say what's good and what's terrible and how to maybe fix things. So, the first time that I did that, oh God, so many years ago, with a middle grade story that's still somewhere on my computer, never got anywhere. And you think, well, that's it. I'm never going to write again because I'm terrible. And they said at the bottom, they said, don't just go, I'm never going to write again because I'm terrible. Step back and go, and then read it again and go,
yeah.
And then read it again, read the report again, and then go, okay, can I cope with this? And it really is. It's one of those. It's a massive learning curve because you go, I thought I could write, and it's like, no, you really couldn't write at all. You were terrible, But I learned the lessons, and I then sent the next book, and they're like, well, this is it's not even a middle grade. It's a completely different book, and I was like, okay, I've done loads of genres, and they're like, okay, and by the time I put the last book in, they said, you kind of put that full stop in the, or that comma, not a lot else to say. And I thought, and they said, you really have learned the lessons. And it's like, that's brilliant. But it made me very thick-skinned because it's like, if anybody has got a criticism, then it's valid. It's valid, because I've really done my best to try and get to a point where I don't feel ashamed of my work. I'm happy to put it out there. The only thing I don't like is when I get I did not finish, review where they accuse me of something that, they've read 30 pages of my novel and then said, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, kind of, it's a psychological thriller. So these things are going to whatever. And it's like, you should really, if you're going to accuse me of this, get to the end of the book to find out that that is not the case. So I've had a 1 star where somebody accused me, this is a previous book, of, whatever. And it's the complete opposite. But because it was a psychological thriller, it went through all these stages and all these mad things to get to a denouement of completely different to what she thought it was. But she gave up after 30 pages and they gave me a 1 star review. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm quite happy for people to say it's not my genre. Didn't like the content because that's, it's not for everybody. So, when you read a wonderful review, and you go, wow, because I do have imposter syndrome, and I do think, my English teacher, I was doing A-level English, and she told me at the age of 17 to sit on my hands, because she said, you only talk with your hands, and then of course I sat on my hands and then couldn't say a word. I was so humiliated, and I thought, okay, I do an awful lot of this, whiffing, waffling, and waving.
Me as well.
Yeah, and I thought, well, okay, and I did actually end up leaving English Lit, and I thought, well, that's it. I'm rubbish. I'm whatever. I don't understand anything. I'm not very good at this. But then the stories started to come out, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to do this, and I started to write them down, and built from there. But it was learning the lessons along the way, which I hope I've learned.
Rebecca from Holbeck, it really made me chuckle. She's been editing a book on the Kama Sutra. You should see the Google ads she's getting. Please don't share the Google ads with me. I don't want to know. My friend's husband, Kaz's husband, actually shares things, and Kaz does the different ads that they get, and they're hilarious. But somebody has said Brian is knowledge, which he absolutely is. I want to talk about how you and Holbeck became a team, because I was saying that when your book came, it was wrapped in lovely flamingo wrapping paper, and I've got another one here. This is how Holbeck's books come. So I've kept this one wrapped, and this is I know what it is. This is AJ Aberford. So this arrived, Rebecca. Thank you. Ready for me to read it ahead of an interview, but they always send them really nicely wrapped. And there's a lovely little card with them advertising the podcast, which we'll ask you about in a minute as well, the Hobcast. But talk to us about how you and Holbeck came together. Excuse me.
I just approached them with, this book, and very, again, like, ooh, I hope they like it. And they did, and I was blown away. And they, I pinged, I think it was quite fast afterwards, I pinged the second book to them, and they're like, okay, yes, we'll have that as well. And I was just amazed and so excited. And then we didn't know about this, but we've got a mutual friend in Brighton. So, we started to talk about this mutual friend who is such a lovely lady, Vicky. So Becca be like, yeah. And it's crazy, because this is, the small world thing of like, it is a big world, but it's not really, we all kind of circle each other and everything. And I'm so happy to be with the Holbeck family, because Holbeck really, really are out of their way to make you feel you are part of the family.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. That you can contact Beck at any time, and she will answer. Within.
And I do frequently.
Yeah, and it's like I think, oh, I'm bothering her again with some silly, whatever it is that I want to know, but she's answering like that, and it's brilliant. So long may it last.
Absolutely. Cheers to that. And she said, we love having you in the Holbeck family.
Good.
Excuse me. Every time I start talking, I start coughing again. We're talking about similarities between you and Lily in the book. One of the lines that I wrote down, because it just really made me chuckle, and I thought, is this you or is this not you? And I'm really intrigued. So,
okay.
Polishing the light bulbs. That isn't the line I wrote. I've written another line down, but she's a bit anal in her cleaning, likes things a certain way. She's lived with people who have been a bit mucky beforehand. A bit mucky might be an understatement. But she says I'm a bit anal with the cleaning, and then I really, really chuckled as she was polishing the light bulbs. And then Alice makes a comment, oh, I bet she's been polishing the light bulbs. Are you? I was just going to say, are you a light bulb polisher? That sounds very rude. But do you polish light bulbs when you are cleaning?
I
That's
I
a
have
yes.
it's yes, she's very like me in all of her whatever. It's and I did live with people much worse than who she lived. Well, I lived with Mary, who was eating the dog food. I did live with her.
Oh,
It's
that
in
was
there.
real. Okay.
A
Did
lot,
that
a lot of
spoon
people.
go in with the people
Yeah,
spoons?
yeah. It's the one for the dog, one for at the bottom of the stairs, because people go, oh well, that's a bit weird, and it's like, well, the weird things are the true things, and the back garden full of the ping pong red painted ping pong balls. That was the back garden. I was Lily at that point, going, oh my god, oh my god. Away, but yes, that was my back garden in London. Oh dear me.
And did you have any visiting police officers at that point?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay.
So the whole thing is he busted
Oh
with his
my
back.
word.
Yes.
I am going to have to reread this now with a critical eye on Hilly Barmby.
Yeah, I know. It's but it's funny. It's funny writing about these things because it's like, yes, this is all true. Yeah.
AJ Aberford just said thanks for the mention. Yeah, this is your book here. It's right here.
Coming out in a minute.
And Donna said, light bulb polisher sounds like it's such a euphemism. It really does. As soon as I was saying it, I was thinking that's going to be committed to camera.
Oh no, it's my mum was so anal in cleaning. Absolutely. Just she polished the light bulb. She polished the skirting boards. She every single thing you could eat off the floor, you could eat off of any set. It was immaculate. So of course, when you're growing up, there's three of us, three girls, so no brothers or anything. And we've all of us done that whole kind of like pendulum thing of, I'm not going to clean. I'm not going to clean. I'm going to clean so much. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to clean. And it's because when you've been brought up with that whole, just you take a plate out the cupboard and you have to wash it again for mum because it's like it's been in the cupboard and it's like, okay, And when they came to visit me, I mean, bless them, they used to bring their own like cutlery and plates with them. That's my parents. I'd be living somewhere and they go, ta-da! And I'm like, really? I've got cutlery and plates. And they'd be like, well, not ours. And it's like, immaculately clean. It's like,
maybe they knew that the dog had been eating off yours.
Yes. Well, this is it. Oh dear. Yeah.
So is cleaning a way of dodging deadlines? Or a way of getting some of the stress out with approaching deadlines? Or are you a bit more organised than that?
I don't do the cleaning as much. What I do now is like I think a lot of people is wait until I know somebody's coming round because we have a it's all gated, so people can't just drop in on us. It's like they have the phone beforehand, and I'm like, oh, I really need to clean now. So no, it's no, I don't use. It's one of those things. It's clean for Christmas. It's clean for friends and family, whatever. But rest of the time, I live on a mountainside, with dogs. So it's very hard. The leaves are rolling in. It's all just one level. So it's not even a step. You simply open the door and everything goes woof, and the whole kitchen is full of like leaves, and we've got split side. So there's a big kitchen on its own in the middle of the land. There's another building. This is like a wooden lady shed. I don't know what you call it. It's in the middle of the land. It's just plump in the middle of the land, and it's mine. And I have to have a torch because it's pitch black out there, to get back to the house to find the house. So we're so it is a bit tricky to keep it immaculate. I can't do it.
Donna's saying, please come to the UK next year. She wants the hug in real life.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And can you? Well, I want to say thank you, Donna, for everything because she's such a star. You're such a star, Donna.
She knows you're going to give her a big head. She does give hugs. We have such a fun time when we actually meet up.
Yeah, I want to. One day I want to get back and do, you know, any of these things. I watched them all online and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. Especially, you know, Brighton. It's like I've left Brighton and now all this stuff is happening.
Now there's an event there.
You know, amazing. So one day.
I want to know how you write. You said that Lily is basically you.
Well,
how do you decide how much of your life goes into the book, and then how, because it doesn't read like a memoir, you know,
no,
it reads a crime fiction novel, which it is. So
yeah.
how do you decide where's enough Hilly and where the fiction takes over, because there's so much that happens in this story.
I have no idea because it just comes out. I mean, I try my best to get the dialogue as authentic as I can. You know, and I hope that comes across.
Yeah, your dialogue's excellent. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember at any point being jarred out of the book for any single thing. Not once. Not with dialogue, not you get really involved in the scenes and kind of even the bars that they go in and the food that they're having and everything that's going on around them. You feel like you're in it. So no, I don't remember a single time being, in fact, I wasn't, I can say, categorically, I wasn't jarred from the book by anything.
Good. That's brilliant. Yeah. I think a lot of my kind of like characters, you know, their reactions might be kind of how I might react, or possibly how I'd like to react. If you know, I'm 62 for crying out loud. You know, Lily's 30, so I have to keep doing the thing of like, she's not me because I'm an old lady.
You're not an old lady.
But you know what I mean? It's like I have to keep going, okay, she's 30. So I have to kind of, in my head, I'm 26, you know. And then you look in the mirror and you go, no, you're not. But, you know, whatever. But I hope I've got that kind of whatever going, that she's not coming across as too old. You know, the same with Alice. I hope that, you know, young women, whatever.
Yeah, if I can comment on that before you carry on. One of the things that I remember thinking is I would not have put up with that. I wouldn't put up with that now, but 10, 15, 20 years ago might have been a different story. Yeah. And that was something that I remember thinking a lot about, the different things that happen to different people and how they reacted at the age they're at. And remembering thinking the things that I probably let people get away with that I shouldn't have done. But now it's not happening. So, and I'd imagine in another 20 or 40 years, you know, it might be that I get even more battle axing because I'm not having it. But I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
But that absolutely came across with the characters.
Yeah, it's definitely with like the Hugh bit. That did happen.
I'm hoping that isn't oh, okay.
Not the final bit, but the whole kind of you know. Yeah. And I was just like, ooh, and I did have whoever, you know, the Harry character. Yeah, whisked away, but we didn't have. I'm talking a long time ago. Didn't have phones, didn't have whatever. We just ran away. But I was thinking, well, you know, in this like era, even though it's only a few years ago, you know, everybody has mobile phones, so everybody's filming everything. And I thought they would, and because of the Me Too scenario and everything, and it's like you would sort of stand up for yourself. I didn't. No. I just ran away and hid. You know, and then ducked and dived for quite a bit, which you shouldn't have to do. And that was the whole point of, you know, when Me Too sort of thing started to come out, is we shouldn't have to be ducking and diving and you know, avoiding those hands and, you know, the leering and the comments and the whatever. So yeah,
I've got to admit it's a big bonus to working from home. Don't really have to go out and deal with people unless I choose to. So if I'm leaving the house, it's because I've chosen to and I really want to be where I am. Other than that, no, I'll be here. sat right here in this chair, not with the camera on usually. But yeah, I do like the fact that you tackled so many issues. And I think it's a really wonderful thing that you were brave enough to put things that have happened to you, really happened, and the feelings and the things that go along with that into the book. So
As long
I
as it
think
comes
people
across.
will read that, and you've given people a way of handling something that they might not have had before.
Well, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Because I didn't handle it, and I thought, okay, if I was a young woman, now it should be handled differently.
Mm.
So I hope that has come across.
Yeah, it absolutely has. How much of this can we go into? So, you have two best friends. Let's start from the beginning, and I will be very, very careful because I hate spoilers.
Yeah,
I know some people just aren't bothered; they really irk me. So, we've got two friends, best friends, really, really close, and then they bump into a third lady who they become friends with, who
yeah.
is a fan of Lily, who is an author, and they've
An
met at a book signing.
yeah, an illustrator. Because again, I
Illustrator.
was an illustrator as
Yeah.
well. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of me. Yes. So we get Rose coming into the picture, and I wanted to get across that Lily. I think sometimes when you have, your absolute bestie,
Mm.
somebody else coming into if there's two people, then that's okay because there's always two and two and two and two. When it becomes just three people,
Mm.
um, I think a lot of us can feel a little bit threatened by you thinking, oh my god, am I going to lose my best friend to this person who's beautiful and witty and gorgeous and all the rest of it, and you can feel a little bit threatened. So you can see how she feels, but Rose seems to come across as, apart from that initial thing with the inscription at the start of the book launch,
Yeah.
um,
And this
she's
isn't a spoiler. This is right at the beginning.
right at the beginning, which would make anybody feel like, well, it's a bit odd, but they get over it and they become, a little kind of unit, don't they? So
Yeah.
you've got Lily, Alice, and Rose, and I liked, one of the reviewers said, everybody should have a mad bestie like Alice. I really like that because she tells it how it is.
Yeah.
I think Lily's a bit more staid compared to Alice. Alice is a little bit wilder, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely. But they really gel well together.
Yeah,
That really works because there's actually a point where Lily's going on a date, and the guy Jack that you've already mentioned that she goes on a date with, um, he's like her but not too like her. They've got differences, and that I think is what really works with Alice and Lily as well. They
yeah,
have a lot in common, but they have these outer quirks as well,
yeah,
and it just makes the relationship really work, and they know each other so well. It's such a depth of friendship that I
yeah,
feel like I know these women.
yeah. I mean, Alice, the fact that she will, when she's practically on her deathbed, where she's eaten whatever it was, some ghastly something or other, and she will
Oh, the food
go out
poisoning. Oh, yeah.
to find Lily in the graveyard. And that graveyard exists, by the way, and I have been there many times. So it's like, and it is a beautiful, beautiful place.
Mm,
The fact that she will get up off her like deathbed practically and go and find her best mate to look after her, even
yeah,
though she's green and sick and horrible, And it's like, yeah, that's what best friends do.
they do, and they do really support each other. Somebody has asked, how much time do you spend on art and drawing versus writing? That was AJ Aberford.
Ah,
And it ties in nicely with the fact that I didn't know. It was interesting to read about the commissioning process. I didn't know that sometimes during the commissioning process, you have to agree on so much, including sometimes colour schemes. Check that you've got the colour palette right before you even start, which is a really nice thing to. It's not you know, it's not thoroughly throughout the book, but there are hints of the fact that Lily, I nearly called her Alice then, that Lily is an illustrator. So, how much of your time do you devote, and what is the process?
I my whole degree was like about children's book illustration, but I never made it. And if you can see here, these are my illustrations.
That one's your profile picture, isn't it? The one right behind your head.
With the hearts and everything.
Yeah.
So I have since forever I've been painting and illustrating and goodness knows what else. But never, you know, I've sold my work. I do exhibitions and I sell it and I make greetings cards and all the rest of it. And it's just literally in the last 2 years, I actually got my first commission to do a children's book. Literally after all of these, you know, and it's a Spanish book. So you know, when I'm writing, I am completely focused on that. Nothing gets in the way. And then when I'm painting, you know, I have to have this kind of transitional thing of going clink, 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 clink. Oh, I'm doing this now. I can't just go backwards and forwards. It you know, it's got to be I'm doing this 100% and then I'm doing that 100%. But I will show you los encuentros de un caracol aventurero. Es el mío. And it's I'm going to show you some.
Oh, I love frogs. You couldn't have opened on a better page.
So it's, you know, I'm a watercolor illustrator, and this is just up the road from me. So this is called Nathekia. Hang on a minute, there. And there are like 3 huge Nathekias that travel around the mountainside that bring water, and they were built by the Moors like over 800 years ago to bring water from the mountain, all the snow melt, to bring them around the mountain. And everybody, you know, you've got like little kind of like channels that come down to each farm, and everybody has a time. And you know, you like, my farm's this big, and so therefore I get 2 hours every however many weeks or whatever it is, you know, and you go and find your water and you bring it to your land, and then the next person goes, right, that's time, and they cut off your water and they direct. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers, but it works here. So, but this is Federico Garcia Luca, and he's obviously he's from this area. He's very famous. So I was so pleased to be basically approached by a Spanish publisher to do this. So it's like, this is my first book. I'm so pleased. So that, you know, and obviously I'm going to do it again. Ta-da-da! I mean, that. Thank you, Jane.
Oh, no, can't do it. I'm going to knock my shelf down.
No. But, you know, so pleased with things.
I don't know why I touch things. It's a nightmare when I do. I'm getting cocky with it because I've had a few times when I've been able to pick up a book and it's been fine. That's it. No more. No, can't do it. So, but this is, you know, we often talk about writers not giving up and persevering, and that book might not get sold, but the next one might, Same with any creative output or anything. You know, you're proving. So how long have you waited for, since your degree, to have a children's book illustration job? You are frozen on my screen. I do not know if you are frozen for everybody else or if it's me that's frozen. Somebody please give me a heads up if you can hear me, but Hilly's frozen. I might actually have another go at getting this down because I don't know if you can see me or not. So this was, if you can. Oh, hello. You were frozen on my screen, but was I frozen on yours?
we both disappeared. Got to look at the fact that I am on a mountainside in the middle of Spain, so we're doing pretty good at the moment, So yeah.
So I carried on waffling just in case. So what I started to say was I won this in a competition. It says books on it from C.L. Taylor a while ago, and I tend to have one of her books on it. But tonight I put one of your books on it. Well, yeah. So that, but I love this cover so much. Right, that's me done touching things now.
Yeah,
she says.
Well, we with the cover, we spoke about it. So with Beck and Adrian, and then we said to Jane Matt, could you come up with some ideas? So she came up with the whole variety, and then I think probably Adrian sort of said, "Well, I'm looking at whatever," and she came up with some other ideas, but. There was something about these ones. Okay, we twiddled bits and bobs with colours and moved things around. But this, I think, is really sums up. It's a little dark, a little mysterious, and obviously you've got your Brighton element there. And I just love it.
I do. I love it when you can tell that a crime book cover is a crime book cover. I think it's so important because you can have a really gorgeous cover, but if there isn't even a hint of sinister, or something not quite right about it, then it doesn't pull me in. So it wouldn't stop me reading the book, but I do love it when the cover really nails it.
Yeah.
And the whole package comes together when the book's excellent and the cover's excellent and the whole thing is. I do love that.
Yeah. Yeah, because some of the other designs she did were too. I just thought they're kind of rom-com.
Right. Okay.
They had the wrong kind of feeling, and then we all agreed and said, "Yes, this is it."
So it's been a really collaborative process.
Yes. Yeah, as opposed to just being shown. This is your book cover. It's like, oh, not at all. Lovely. Yeah, really.
We have nothing but love for this Hobeck team.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, the other thing is I'm looking forward to, because I've just finished, going to do another read through, but I've just finished the edits on the next book. It's coming out in March. And I think our, next stage for that is going to be the cover. Well, I love seeing the cover. It's like, makes it real when you see the cover of your book. So, yeah, really looking forward to that.
Plus, you've got a real eye for it because you are an artist, you're a graphic designer, you do all of these things. So it must be really lovely to know that you have such an input and it will only go out if you love it as much as everybody else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes a massive difference. Yeah.
I found the line that I wrote down. I thought the line was about the light bulbs, but I've just turned over a piece of paper in front of me thinking, I know I've written it somewhere. The line says, I have to stop myself making up stories to fit a narrative I know nothing about. Have to stop myself making up stories to fit a narrative I know nothing about is not only stupid, but potentially dangerous. And it really made me think about how we all do that. Or I think it's a good idea to do that. I know it can seem kind of the wrong thing to do, but we do. We all fill the gaps in, especially if something doesn't feel quite right and we can't put our finger on what it is. Yeah. And often it's probably quite fanciful, but it's still such an important thing, I think, to do. There's so many just brilliant bits of this book that we could really talk about, but we can't get into the detail. But I like the idea of, trying to fill that gap with what you think could go there, just to fill out the picture a bit.
Yeah, but it is dangerous, though. And I'm sure a lot of relationships have actually failed because of people doing the whole extrapolation of, I think this, or this could have happened. And it's like, well, no, you don't know. And the moment you've got it in your head that this could have happened or it's going this way or whatever it is, it's like, no, just pull back a bit from that. Because it's so easy to like say fill in the gaps and come up with something completely different. That 2 and 2 makes 5. It's like
so useful in crime fiction, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody has, oh no, we're saying To True Love Hoback. And yeah, you were frozen on their screen. Kaz has messaged me to say we're all fine now. So we're good. We can continue. Do you think any of these characters will be revisited at any point? Got to be careful how we ask and answer that one. But is there anybody that you'd see, or do you feel like each person's story has been told and you're ready to move on?
This is I don't know. There's a possibility. I don't know. Because you sort of yeah, I've got to be really careful not to
sorry.
too much, but I kind of think it's finished. Really, I think they've got to their, where they should be in life, and unless we want to follow Alice and her leaky women enterprise or whatever.
Now that bit you can explain.
Wow, that's true.
Okay, go on. This is no way a spoiler, so
no, it's not a spoiler.
But,
I just, when I was told this, I was literally sat with this friend, and I was just laughed my socks off. I was like, "You're joking," and she's like, it's like, what a brilliant name.
You're going to tell everyone what the name is, though.
Well, it's basically a plumbing service, isn't it? So she's setting herself up as or with her and her mate, women plumbers to go around and deal with women. So when a bit of their it's dropped off, they will go around and fix it. But it's just Leaky Women Enterprises.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think most women, if not all women, would just chuckle and hire them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what Rose says, isn't it? I'll ask them. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't really, I don't know about everybody else. I'm really funny about who I have in my house. I'd imagine most people is the same. Don't really, it's generally just me, the husband and the kids here, or the kids' friends. It's very rare that I actually have anybody here. The kids have always got my head in a book, and I've been known to sit on the stairs and read and ignore people. New Year's Eve, sat with a book.
Oh, that's lovely though. That's the ideal New Year's Eve.
Not when you're the one hosting and you've got guests.
Oh well, yeah, possibly. Well, that's
a little break from all the socialising.
Yeah, just go and hide. Go and hide in the toilet.
Going back to something we talked about before, the dating website. How much research did you have to do on, because you used OkCupid, how much research did you do on the dating? Because things have changed quite a bit over the years, and there were no, I've been married a long time, there were no dating websites. There were no websites. Were there even? No. There would have been websites, just, I think. Yeah, maybe. I've been married just over 20 years, so 22 years, so 21? I don't know. I'm terrible with numbers, as we were talking about before we came online. How long have we been married? Married 21, together 22. There you go. He forgives me because I am terrible with anything to do with numbers. But things have changed a lot. The way people meet has changed a lot. So deciding how to go about that must have been an interesting thing.
Well, also some of the things that were said, when they're just chatting about the sexy Sid from Ice Age or whatever. That's a quote from someone. It's like, can't get that out of my head now. But it's I had to do the research because I've been with my man for 23 years. So it's like. Yeah, I had to look up, how do people actually meet nowadays? It's not okay, you've got to be careful about going down the pub in case somebody slinks a little something into your drink. That's horrifying. I've read so many of these stories, and it's like, that's awful. And the fact now they have things in the ladies' toilet saying, if you feel insecure, if the person that you've met is not the actual person that you thought you were going to meet, ask for a tequila slam.
Yeah, don't say the name. Don't say the name. We are keeping that. Apparently they have things in men's toilets as well, but we are, yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
But it's ooh.
So I would not want to.
Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah. Oh, you seem fine on mine this time. Is it me that's frozen? Oh no, internet problems. We have gremlins again. Can everybody hear me, or can you? Can anyone tell us? Are we back again? Okay. I was just asking if anyone could tell us which one of us was frozen, but yeah, you can hear me now. No, I have completely lost Hilly. I have an image, I have no sound, and I have a frozen Hilly. A rather lovely image of frozen Hilly, but frozen Hilly all the same. I don't know if it's me because nobody's commenting this time, so I'm just kind of waffling until we get an answer. Has any suggestions? Okay, so... Oh, I'm okay, but Hilly's frozen. Okay, thank you. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Aberford. Oh, I've got you back now.
I can see you now. Can you see me?
Okay, yeah. I could see you frozen in a really lovely smile.
Oh, that's...
Which is really nice. So
okay,
we were talking about the dating scene. So how did you decide which way to go about the dating scenes?
I just looked up, did the old Google search, whatever. You have frozen it. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh. Are we still there?
I'm still here.
It's a bit tricky. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It's a little bit. I don't know if quite often if there's a bit of wind up on the mountain, it stops everything. I don't know if it's my end or your end or whatever. I mean it's all research. It's all research and looking up for that age group.
Yeah, so you're looking at what people would be using the most. Rather than the idea of going into a bar and all of those things. And obviously different research that you've done will be to help the plot in certain ways as well. But it all fits really beautifully.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I really enjoyed writing it. I must admit, really enjoyed it. And what you've also got to look at is I had a fantastic editor as well. So thanks to Sue. We always have to mention the editor.
Sue, who I have heard so many lovely things about.
Yeah.
We have got about 5 minutes left. And I wonder if now might be the time for you to just give us a recap of the book. Because we keep...
Without
spoilers.
It's without spoilers, It's basically about obsession. And when obsession is mistaken for love. And it's how far will someone go if they think they've been slighted or they've lost something, and it's the story of a nice, I hope she's nice anyway, a nice 30 just about 30-year-old girl who just doesn't know what on earth is happening to her, and things are happening, but she's not sure if it's her that's doing it or she's kind of going a bit bonkers or whatever, or it's like, and she has a little bit of blame for this person, that person, the other person, and then it's like no, so it's kind of a very slow, not deterioration, but it's, you know, she starts to really wonder what is going on as these horrible things happen. I mean, my scary thing is the click in the nighttime. That was my scary thing, you know, because nobody wants to hear that. You know, your back door, the click of your back door when you're asleep is not good. That for me was, you know, regardless of what else happened, it's that, like, you know, that's a bit of a heart-stopping point. So
we all have those noises, don't we? The sounds that we hear in the night that we know, and then something else happens, and everyone's like, "What was that?" And then we're foolish, so we go and investigate.
You know, and the checking and the checking.
I want to really thank you for coming back. I'm sorry we seem to be having some issues, but we are right at the end. So thankfully, we've managed to get through the interview at least this time. Thank you to everyone who's commented. You've got so much support.
Brilliant.
You've so much support for this excellent book, and I do urge everyone to go and read it. It's absolutely fantastic, and I was gripped. Absolutely
brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I hope you'll come back and talk to us for the next one.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Thank you
so much.